Welcome back. It's time now to have our quick press review, but before we start, let me first welcome our dear guest live here in the studio, Mr. Ahmed Nabil, our commentator of this episode of our breakfast show. And we are going to start immediately, sir, as we do have plenty of headlines. Good morning first.
Good morning to you.
And we're going to start from Al-Ahram, where we read, removing all the trespassing cases and protecting the waterways. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi says it's important to think of creative methods to make use of the flowers of the River Nile. In his meeting with Prime Minister and Ministers of Housing and Youth, El-Sisi gives his directives regarding the completion of the designs of Cultural Sports Center in the new administrative capital. Ambassador Ala Youssef, presidential spokesperson, noted that the head of the state pointed out that all the social housing should have similar projects to have positive impact on practicing sports, enriching the youth's culture and knowledge, benefiting from their abilities and energies. Sir, when it comes to the meetings of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi with ministries in general, or to preside over even a mini cabinet meeting, there are a lot of messages. For example, what I can see here is that the leadership is trying to say that we are doing things side by side, things which should be done now on the spot, and others for the coming futures, to avoid at least some mistakes which we have been suffering from the repercussions. How do you see this, sir?
Yeah, I see that our president is getting into details to some extent, for sure. We have addressed three issues in here, starting by Nile River canals and the attempt to clean the channels. It is really important that the Nile River is kept
healthy.
Yeah, you cannot keep the flowers of the River Nile like stopping water, and you have sort of this separate islands and lakes, and then you have problems with health and problems with throwing trashes and things like this. I wonder why, until the moment, this matter is not taking enough attention from our Ministry of Water Resources, for example. This is something which really of great importance, because the water flooding and water movement is quite important for the, for the flow itself.
If you permit me, sir, this needs the cooperation and awareness of people. I mean, the Ministry of Water Resources and the Ministry of Environment also are doing such efforts. But without the cooperation of people, all these efforts are going to go in vain. So don't you think that people should do something?
People should do, but you have somehow to apply laws in here, because there is a lot of industrial wastes going into the Nile River, and this is one of the things which we have to...
Industrial agriculture, sanitary drainage.
Yeah, because this is something you come and treat and spend money again and again just to clean what they have done. So at least they have to pay the price for it. So in any case, you need a reinforced law in here, and you need an overcare, because really we have water problems for the moment, and not only for the moment, and maybe expected in the future. So it's ABC that you look into your channels, you look into your Nile River, make best use of those spaces, and try as much as possible to prevent and to come over the problems which we lived with during the last maybe 40 years.
Yeah, 4 decades into that. To continue with our local news, and from Al-Ahram, a session at the House of Representatives today regarding the budget. The House of Representatives tackled the 2016-2017 budget, the growth rate 5.2, the investment rate 19%, of course, and reducing the unemployment rate by 11.9. Well, the Parliament, and to speak about the Parliament, they have a lot to do. They are shouldering such a burden, 342 laws to be ratified and to be discussed by them, and now to discuss the budget of this fiscal year. First, do you have any comment on the performance of our Parliament?
I cannot comment on their performance as much as I just can say that they are so much into driven by the media a little bit. I have this feeling. I mean, they are giving more attention to what is taking the attention of the people more than the issues, which is because people not always look to the major parts of or the major demands from the parliament. They have subjects and issues of high concern and discussed over the social media, over the gatherings, and they involve the parliament somehow in it. Just please try to solve the problem you came into. But something like the budget, this is something like crucial. I mean, it's very important, and I think it has to take enough attention from the parliament. The numbers you have mentioned now, which was published again, doesn't look bad, to tell you the truth, but still.
At least in accordance to our situation, economic situation after two revolutions, after political turmoil, which took place for months or even years.
Yeah, that's very true, and I think we have to feel a little bit positive because the general trend, driven again by the media, is somehow giving you the impression that we are somehow stuck economically, but it's not very true.
The same issue is tackled in the Masri اليوم, also about the parliament session to discuss the budget, but there is something to be added here. Sources, a cabinet reshuffle after the lesser Bayram. The presidency is not pleased with the performance of some services ministries.
Yeah.
With or against, sir?
With, for sure. Of course, there is a lot of, during the last period, of course, we have experienced a number of, I would say, drops from the ministries in terms of following specific files. And of course,
quickly, sir, before going to another subject, because we do have, as I said, a
number of issues, yes. It's too many.
But regarding this, many analysts would say that we should give the official his time whenever he is occupying such a position, a portfolio like a ministry which is introducing services to the people.
Yeah.
And others would say, no, it's gonna be clear since the very first month or 2 months, I mean, in most cases, that he or she is going to fulfill the mission. Are you from this part or the other? I mean, how we should evaluate the performance, and in what time, in what period?
Look, I would balance a little bit between both, but in general, it appears from the first beginning, the way the leaderships or the ones assigned for having their being responsible. I mean, the minister, call him, or whoever. Your plan, what you intend to do.
Strategy.
Yeah, your strategy. I see most of the ministers and most of the leaders are somehow taken and completely taken by the administrative problems and the overpopulated ministries. So he comes in place, and then he have a number of files about problems in the ministry. Division, some number of divisions are suffering something, the others are requesting an additional, let's say, bonus, and he gets into such a dilemma and forget the real reason of being there. I mean, so I think they have to have a clear target, and this has to be maybe introduced to the Prime Minister before taking the assignment.
Yeah.
You can have a sort of a period of time just to go through these issues and present this to the Prime Minister.
And maybe because of this, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi decided, of course in cooperation with his cabinet, to have all the time assistants, vice ministers, to be trained to avoid these defects, I should say, or to be trained to the modern way of managing.
This is very true, and this is something where we have also introduced the youth. I mean, young guys who are really ready and educated enough to take over in the future.
That should be the caliber of the future.
They should be there attending and living the problem from day one. So by the time they are completely experienced or somehow completely ready to take the assignment and take the representative, they are more capable of solving the problems.
From Al Masri Al-Yawm front page we read, I see that this is a little bit controversial. Egypt and Russia resumed the bridge of friendship, ending the differences over a Dawa project. I mean, to resume friendship, this means that it was suspended for a while. No, it didn't. And to just take this apart, Minister of Electricity Dr. Muhammad Shakir al-Marqadi announced that all the hanging points in the current negotiations with the Russian nuclear firm Rosatom to build a nuclear power station in Taba in Marsa Matruh have been settled. A positive sign to see Egypt entering this full new world, nuclear energy?
Definitely. I just want to stop as same as you stopped here with the title. I mean, the title gives the impression that we had that interruption somehow in the relationship, and then it's resumed back. And this is what we really don't like in the media. In the media, because to make it the article attractive, he just starts by a title which even make you somehow confused. So actually, the ongoing negotiation for the Daba nuclear power plant has been always going, I would say, reasonably. But
and they should take time.
Definitely,
and this is
such
completely
a project.
Normal.
Look, you're not here talking about just building a power plant. You're talking about a relationship of not less than 30 years. Because you are talking here about building the power plant. Yeah, I mean, with whoever going
about the Daba nuclear.
No, about the Daba nuclear plant. I mean, when you build something of such a nature, you think about fuel, because you need fuel. It's not easy fuel. I mean, you don't buy fuel from whoever. You need special arrangements and special agreements for the fuel, the waste of the nuclear power plant as well. So there is a lot of details involving, and this is our first time. We are very precautious, by the way, when it comes to such kind of projects. Safety and all these details.
And security and all those measures should be taken into consideration.
And involvement of the people. Yeah, so it takes time, and we have to understand this.
Al Masri Al-Yawm, we read from its front page, transferring the 2 black boxes of Egypt Air jet to Paris for repair today. And we know that also our investigators are going to go with those chips as a joint process is going to take place. I mean, the French are not going to be the sole responsible for that.
Definitely, yeah.
I mean, we are not going to comment on that because tomorrow is another day, and when we have all the data, we are going to know.
Yeah, we just say that we remember very well, and we want to know what happened. You know, so we remind ourselves from time to time that this is what's happening.
And to a more important subject or issue from Al Masri Al-Yawm, we read the inauguration of the extension and expansion of the Panama Canal with the participation of Rear Admiral Muhab Mamish. The extension process took 9 years and cost $5.4 billion. Rear Admiral Muhab Mamish is there as the special envoy of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to convey the greetings of Egypt leadership to Panama in this historic moment. Sir, regarding the international cooperation between Egypt and the whole world, and now it's between the Suez Canal Authority and Panama Canal, how do you see this as a new way to be opened more to the international community in all fields?
Yeah, it is really interesting to see that Mr. Mamish is somehow like attending such kind of inauguration. It's really, Suez Canal turned to be one of the most famous canals. I mean, and especially after what we have done in the last couple of years. And it was really sort of I would say, a trend that the ones who are really managing such canals are somehow in contact, because there is a lot to learn and to experience and to coordinate together. So Panama, of course, is one of it's the oldest. It's the eldest one, and for sure. And if you look to the numbers, starting how many years it took for them
I was very proud.
Yes.
I was very
look,
proud.
make some comparison because we have people, because some negative people were just trying to deliver the message. We spend a lot of money. It took a lot of time. It's very easy. Such kind of words. If you take a simple comparison with the coast,
it means only one thing, that we did a miracle.
Look, 9 years, 5.4 billion US dollar. And again, the target is to enlarge, is to make the depths, to allow bigger ships, to add more safety, to add the signal and things, and to have handling facilities around.
Yeah.
So we are talking same issues and same subjects there.
Yes, sir.
So,
sir, have you expected the Brexit? A yes or no question?
I would say not very much. Yeah, but
protests in London calling for another referendum, and Britain and Europe differ on the time of the so-called divorce. We have more details in the following report.
Prompt divorce on Saturday. This as Britain's seismic vote to abandon the EU sparked bitter breakup rows at home and abroad. Britons had cast aside warnings of isolation and economic disaster to vote 52%, 48% in favor of quitting the European Union in the June 23rd referendum. The historic vote fought on the battlefronts of the economy and immigration toppled Prime Minister David Cameron, pounded sterling and led Moody's to downgrade Britain's credit rating outlook to negative. It exposed deep divisions in Britain too, as more than 2 million people desperately called for a new vote and support for Scotch independence surged. Cameron has said he will stay on until a successor is found from within his governing Conservative Party, which could take until October, at which point the new Prime Minister will launch the EU exit negotiations. However, European powers urged Britain not to delay amid fears of a dynamo effect of exit votes in Euro-skeptic member states that could imperil the integrity of the bloc. Ministers of the 6 original EU members, Germany, France, Italy, the Netherlands, Belgium and Luxembourg, held an emergency meeting to grapple with the first defection in the bloc's 60-year history.
Sir, more than expected, it was the repercussions, 2 trillion sterling, and the drop of sterling and the crazy rise of gold. Do you think that more domino effects are going to take place in the coming near future?
You mean economically? Or,
yes, economically first.
I don't think very much. Okay. I think it's a transition period, and it's expected and most probably calculated as well. So if we go back a little bit, of course I did not expect that this is going to happen, but there was a number of signs that the UK are not very much satisfied with the overall EU
performance in general and politically in specific.
Exactly. Yeah. There was a number of disagreements in terms of refugee, in terms of Turkey joining EU, a lot of things. And you know the UK has been always considering themselves like we are somehow special.
Yeah.
You know? So being part of a union, you are abide to the rules. They are agreed. There is more democracy in this, and it does not really in real life. It's not acceptable very much.
And what happened? It was because of democracy, 52% to 48%.
Exactly.
But tomorrow is another day, sir. Yes. Before we go, I'm going to leave you, my dear viewers, with a very comprehensive, detailed report about what's going on in the floods in America, in California. But before I go and to leave you with the report, I should thank once again my dear guest live here in the studio, Mr. Ahmed Naguib, our commentator. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks to you, and good morning. Thank you.
Right after the report, we are going to have a very short break, and then we are going to be back with the remaining part of our breakfast show.
The death toll from flooding in the United States state of West Virginia